This is how your car is supposed to look, and this is what happens when you lower it. Did you see that? Lowering your car lowers your center of gravity. Good, but it also sets off a chain reaction of potentially bad things, and I'm going to show you what all of those things are using our educational displays and tools that we have to help you understand what's happening. None of these actually measure anything on your car, but they do give you a great visualization on what to look for on your car and actually how to go about fixing what could be potentially wrong. All the changes that you do to optimize your chassis with the suspension, the coilovers, the sway bars, the car itself, the ride height, all of it has to do with maximizing this tiny little contact patch to the pavement. That being your tire. Your tire is the most important thing on your car. It is the only thing that actually dictates what your car's behavior is even going to be. Of course, we're going to start from the ground up, which makes the most sense. Where the tires meet the road is the most important thing. So when you change your ride height, we have two displays here. This is a 5-link from a BMW, and then we have it's also considered a 5-link because it has 5 points of contact on the subframe, but it is different. It's a multi-link. It's from a BRZ. It has 4 points of control on the knuckle, uses an upper A arm. So these two arms do not move independently from each other. They join and form one pivot point here, two on the subframe. The BRZ is the more common of the suspension types that you're gonna see. The 5-link really is European, German, BMW, Mercedes. They all prefer to use the 5-link, and the 5-link actually has quite good control over the main things that are gonna change when you lower your car when it comes to tire contact, toe, and camber. If we can look at this display, roughly our original ride height is going to be approximately here. We have on each one of these green arms a line that indicates its original location. So I know that this is relatively stock. If I raise this, and let's say this is my new ride height position, and I'm only gonna go up from here, meaning when I hit bumps and compress, I basically am at this point and I compress into this point. We can already see a really dramatic toe change that's going on when we lowered the car, and we're getting a ton of negative camber gain. Is this optimizing the tire's contact patch? No, we are effectively ruining the tire's ability to control this car. And I know a lot of people do something, they'll put a really sticky tire on here, they'll lower the car, and then they'll add a really stiff spring. And this is totally fine and you can get away with this. And let's say you're doing autocross on a relatively smooth parking lot. This is gonna work totally fine for you. But in practicality and on most road courses, racetracks, there's gonna be bumps and need for suspension, and that's not gonna fly, generally speaking. So we need to make some corrections to this. Most commonly, the corrections that you can do when you lower your car is going to be an adjustable toe arm with a bump steer adjustable kit on it. And I have an example of that on my computer. So we can correct the bump steer by adjusting these shims up or down. We are not the only company to make this product, many do. That is something that you actually really need to do on a BRZ. If you lower it even slightly, if you look at the range that this car has at its regular ride height, the toe is not nearly as bad as it is at the upper end. So we really need to make an adjustment to this. The other thing that you need to do is correct your camber. So on a BRZ, for example, we need to do the control arm here, and we need to make that adjustable. On the BMWs, there's 3 arms that you need to get. It's both the upper control arms, which would be called the traction arm, the camber arm, and then you need to do the toe arm. Similarly, we need to do the camber arm, which is the lower control arm, and we need to do a toe arm. You don't really need to do the traction arm and the upper control arm, but the traction arm really helps position the wheel properly in the wheel well, works on your anti-squat and other characteristics that are affected when you lower your car. Overall, if you want the best performance, you would actually need to do all of the control arms, but let's take it one step at a time. One of the other big things that happens when you lower your car can be best explained from a front view. This is the roll center. This being double wishbone means it won't directly relate to multi-link, but it is close. If you look at multi-link from a front plane, you will have roughly defined upper and lower pivot points. Every single control arm operates on a radius, and that radius determines the arc path that that arm will follow and how it will control the knuckle. On a BRZ, we can define this mostly by the lower control arm and the upper control arm. These two control arms here and here are primarily what control the wheel in its camber and roll center range. And we know this because we can remove the tow arm and we can remove the traction arm, hold it relatively in the same place, and we are actually pretty much following the same path. So we know that those arms are controlling the tow, and then the rotation is controlled by the traction. It drives the car forward. So the traction of the tire, it's transmitted through the traction arm. So if we put the traction arm back in, we will eliminate the traction motion, and we now have control. So if I push on this wheel and drive the car forward, we're gonna have that power. The only thing left out of control now is the tow. So we don't really consider the tow and traction arm when we're looking at things like camber gain, roll center, things like that. So back to the roll center, now that we've established how this can apply to that and many other things, we are looking at the center of gravity and how we are getting a better position for it when we're at the low position. But what we need to look at is what the tires are doing at their designed positions versus what they're doing at our now new location. In their designed position, we have body roll and we have camber gain, relatively minimal, but still somewhat positive. Now, if we bring the car lower, we have a bunch of camber being pulled in. If I can get the car to do any kind of rotating, we have a lot of camber changing with this. What's happening is these control arms have converging lines that are going to end up at a point that gives the center of gravity a lot of leverage to roll over on itself. These control arms are no longer preventing the load transfer that's happening during corners. And when you put a stickier tire on, it only gets worse. The tires are able to provide more lateral G's to the chassis, and all of this gets emphasized times whatever. So the only way to combat that, if you're not making any adjustments, is to stiffen your spring and suffer the rough ride. But there is an alternative which does come with a price. No man, pass me that shirt behind you. We are right in the middle of our I Designed It t-shirt giveaway. If you buy one of these t-shirts, you can win a trip here to my manufacturing facility where I'm going to show you everything that I know, give you an opportunity to drive our drift cars. We're going to teach you how to run machines, design products, and bring those things to market. You'll also get a 3D connection mouse. You'll also get Fusion 360 merch, all from buying one of these t-shirts as the giveaway. It only is running for the next 25 days, so while you can, pick one up. They look good too. And it's a good high quality shirt. We made sure of that. We can create or install roll center correction or drop knuckles, and we can do modifications on the subframe too, but let's just do the drop knuckles. So I can move these control arm points. I'm basically looking at the line that I'm at so that we can remember the height. And I'm basically gonna roll center correct these knuckles by moving these points down on the knuckle. We can put the ride height back at the same line. You can see that with the roll center corrected knuckle, we're already improving the control arm angles. I'm gonna do it to both sides. So at the same ride height position, we're looking a little bit closer to how it was at its factory ride height. And we're gonna get a bit better characteristics while going through roll, but we can still do further adjustments here. You could do solid subframe bushings, and then you could do different height of subframe bushings. You can make the top of the bushing significantly shorter and move the whole subframe up, or you could actually relocate the mounts entirely. But let's do the ultimate scenario here, and we will move all the points as if we're correcting everything. We'll go down to our center of gravity point, and you can see that the control arm angles are significantly better at the lower position versus the alternative. So we've successfully dropped our center of gravity, improved our performance, maintained the suspension geometry, and the net result will be significantly better handling and control over the tire at the tire's contact patch. Using this display, you can also optimize the suspension design and get your control arm angles to be even better at different ride heights, and we can play with where the center of gravity actually is so that you can better simulate what your car actually would be doing. This grid and all of these parts inside of here are made so that you can play with and simulate a bunch of different scenarios. Oh boy. That's asking a lot. It's asking a lot. Okay, so the other two things that we need to talk about are the spring rate and the sway bar. These are other ways that you can combat the poor performance of the suspension geometry. But the issue is when we have the car down lower, I told you already, we have way more leverage on the center of gravity to now move around and get load transfer happening. This is in the... I still have the arms in this position, but I'm gonna put the arms back the way they were. I have to, so that the scenario looks bad. Okay, we're back to the worst case scenario. The only things that we can do now are spring rates and sway bar. And when you're dealing with those two things, of course, in order to get this low, you probably got some coilovers. You likely would have needed to go with an increased spring rate just to combat how much body roll you have, because when you have a lowered car with an increase in body roll, it's way worse. Your tires are going to start running into everything. I'm assuming you probably got different wheels to make it look cool or perform better, one of the two. So we're in a really bad situation where we just have a ton of body roll. And the interesting thing with this display is when you lower it, it's actually easier to roll the body itself versus when it's up. Like, it has less resistance. So even through this little 3D printed display, it still feels like that makes perfect sense to you. So your understanding is so much better. What we can do with the sway bar is we're likely going to have to increase it or change its position because of the... Forgive Fusion for a second. This is a assembly that we built a little while ago, and it does actually have somewhat of the converging lines, but you can see that if this is currently at a lowered ride height position, the sway bar has to do so much work because of how much more body roll we have. You also have an increase in leverage on the sway bar. So you really need to increase your sway bar, or you need to change the position that it actually mounts on the control arm. So if you go with adjustable control arms like ours, you would actually want to move the sway bar mounts outward. The other thing that it does is it puts the sway bar in a non-ideal leverage position. This is a pretty decent scenario, but a lot of cases the sway bar will be in an upward motion and then you're going to be going from here to there. The sway bar has basically lost its efficiency to properly translate the load transfer from the left to the right and share that load. It doesn't do it very well anymore. You need to correct the angle of the sway bar, lengthen the link that you're using, depending on if it mounts above or below. It also depends on if it mounts to the strut or not. If it mounts to the strut, for example, which a lot of them do, you would need to lengthen that sway bar to get it back to a parallel position so that it shares the load properly. And you're also going to need to increase the spring rate to compensate for that as well. So to end the video, the best case scenario of what you can do if you lower your car to make it perform the best is, assuming money is no object, we would want to get roll center or drop knuckles to correct the actual suspension geometry. We would want to look at solid subframe bushings and changing the height of those bushings. We would want to increase the sway bar. We would want to increase the spring rate, and we're going to need adjustable control arms. Depending on the car, you're going to need different control arms for the front or the rear. I gave you an example of a BRZ and a BMW. Every car is different. Some of them need only a tow arm. Some of them have enough adjustment in them from the factory to allow for that much of a change in its ride height. But in most cases, you're going to need to correct your toe for sure. So pretty much tow arms, this is across the board. It is probably the most sold arm for, I could just name Corvettes, 350Z, 370Z, and BMWs and BRZs. All of them need toe arms, both front and rear, to correct the toe on any ride height changes. There is more to it. You can buy these displays from us and play with them to learn more yourself. That is the best example that I have for interactive displays that you can mess with and learn how you can make your car handle better when you lower it. Leave in the comments a scenario that you want to see that we can emulate with one of these suspension displays. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.